Newscast at a small station in Virginia. Here's the very latest. Reporter Allison Parker and photographer Adam Ward were killed while interviewing a tourism official. Suddenly, shots rang out.
The woman they were talking to, Vicki Gardner, wounded, and after an operation, we're told she is now in stable condition. The gunman, Lester Flanagan, posting video on Twitter and Facebook of the at least 9 shots he fired. He also sent tweets complaining about being a victim of racism. Flanagan, running from cops, later killed himself.
Now, the senseless gun violence happened in Monetta, Virginia, about 30 miles from the TV station where the victims worked in Roanoke. Eyewitness News reporter Tim Fleischer has new details tonight. He is in the newsroom with our lead story. Tim.
And Liz, good evening. I can tell you that this was nothing short of a cold-blooded ambush. A local news crew just going about their work. The reporter and photographer both killed on live TV. The gunman, police now say, appeared to be spiraling out of control. Even he admits he was a human powder keg. Reporter Allison Parker and photographer Adam Ward were just beginning their live report for the morning news for WDBJ TV. Then the sudden sound of gunfire and screams overtaking the airwaves. Parker tried to run, Ward's camera falling to the ground, but capturing the image of the suspect.
Allison Parker, age 24, and Adam Ward, age 27, died at the scene.
41-year-old Lester Lee Flanagan, a disgruntled former reporter who went by Bryce Williams, became the focus of the manhunt. He tweeted at one point, "I filmed the shooting, see Facebook." It is no longer posted. Troopers eventually giving chase on a Virginia highway saw Flanagan's car crash after he apparently shot himself.
He died at approximately 1:30 p.m. today.
Flanagan previously posted a resume reel on his YouTube page, which began with him holding a gun. While working at the same station as the victims, had a reputation, officials say, of being difficult to work with.
Lester Flanagan, WTOC News.
We had to separate him from the company, and we did understand that he was still living in the area. Occasionally he would run into people from our company.
ABC News also reports it received a 23-page fax from Flanagan listing grievances that he suffered from racial discrimination and bullying at work. And he talked about how he was attacked for being a gay black man.
It certainly goes to show where the gentleman's mind was the night before, or what was taking place there, that there was some forethought given as to the chain of events that would happen.
In the material sent to ABC, Flanagan says the recent killings at a Charleston church triggered today's carnage. What sent me over the top, he writes, was the church shooting, and my hollow point bullets have the victim's initials on them. He then admits that he is angry. He writes, "The church shooting was the tipping point, but my anger has been building steadily. I've been a human powder keg for a while, just waiting to go boom."
This gentleman was disturbed in some way of the way things had transpired. At some point in his life, it would appear things were spiraling out of control.
Meanwhile, stunned colleagues are left grieving. Both Allison and Adam were in relationships with co-workers, and they had worked closely together, a friendship forged in the grueling hours of morning television. The third victim, Vicki Gardner, that tourism official, was being interviewed when she was wounded. Officials say that she is in stable condition. Her family is with her. Liz?
Tim, thank you. President Obama says tragedies like today break his heart. He spoke this afternoon to reporter Monica Malpass from our sister station in Philadelphia, WPVI.
What we know is that the number of people who die from gun-related incidents around this country dwarfs any deaths that happen through terrorism. And we're willing to spend trillions of dollars to prevent terrorist activities, but we haven't been willing, so far at least, to impose some common sense gun safety measures that could save some lives.
We want to take a closer look now about the young victims, reporter Allison Parker and the photographer Adam Ward. They were just starting their careers in journalism, had so much to look forward to in their personal lives as well. And a WDBJ anchor says that Allison was a rock star at only 24 years old. She was a recent college graduate. Station hired her just 1 year ago.
The most thrilling thing I've ever done, I took a trip to the Grand Canyon with my family, and we went horseback riding down the Grand Canyon.
Allison had just moved in with her boyfriend, an evening anchor at that same station where she worked. He tweeted today, "We were together almost 9 months. It was the best 9 months of our lives. We wanted to get married. We just celebrated her 24th birthday." 27-year-old photographer Adam Ward, he was also in a relationship at the station with an employee. It was actually his fiance's last day there. He put balloons on her desk before going out in the field today, making what happened even more heartbreaking. His fiance, a producer, was in the control room when he was shot. She saw the whole thing. Through hard work, he had climbed his way up at the station from production assistant to the position of video journalist. It is all just so heartbreaking. Stay with Eyewitness News and ABC News for new details on these gun murders of the journalists. On our website, ABC7NY, we have more about the victims and also details on the facts that the gunman said to ABC News. You heard Tim talk about that. On World News Tonight with David Muir, coming up in just a few minutes, you'll hear from the anchor who watched the murder of his colleagues as it happened on the air.
We're going to turn now to the other news of the night. We are following some breaking news. This is in Flatbush, Brooklyn, where a child has been struck by a car and is in serious condition. Shannon Sohn is in News Cover 7. She's over the scene with the latest. Shannon.
And Liz, we now know it was a 5-year-old that was struck by that car shortly before 5:30 this afternoon, right here on East 22nd Street, just off of Ditmas Boulevard. Now, we know now that there is a serious head trauma to that child who has now been removed to Kings County Hospital. But as you look here on East 22nd Street, you can see police have set up a crime scene. In fact, as we come down the street a little bit towards Ditmas Avenue, I should say, you've got more police department activity here as well. So they are investigating to figure out exactly what caused this accident to happen. But a 5-year-old with a serious head trauma after being hit by a car. Reporting live over Flatbush, Shannon Sohn, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.